Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining today's webinar. Today, I'm Wendy Cam and Simon is here with me. In the next 45 minutes, we will talk about the new normal for board meeting. How are we going to conduct virtual board meeting? Nowadays, fulfilling the role of board member is not an easy task. On one hand, during COVID period, it is very difficult for board members to have physical meetings. And on the other hand, corporate governance becoming more important these days, not only because of the regulatory requirement, but we will all agree that good corporate governance can bring the board to effectively attain the company's objectives and goals, as well as helping them to sustain the business. So Tricor has been taking an active role in promoting the culture of good corporate governance, as well as providing some digital corporate governing solutions like board portal to help board members digitize and streamline their business operation. So digital board portal solution would provide the board a secure and centralized platform to collaborate, as well as board portal is a system to maintain sensitive board materials and process in a logical and effective way. So today I'm one of the speaker. I'm Wendy Kam, Executive Director of Tricor Hong Kong. I am a chartered secretary. My daily operation is helping listed and non-listed companies on annual compliance, as well as helping them to carry out the regular and non-regular board meeting. So I have many chances in helping the board members in coordinating meeting and running their business. And as I have introduced just now, Mr. Simon Law, I'm happy to have Simon joining me today. Simon is the head of marketing and sales ops of Praxonomy. Simon leads the go-to-market strategy of his team. Simon has 10 years of experience in the enterprise software market. So during today's webinar, we will share with you our view and experience on how the latest technologies can help the board member to make their life easier and how they can conduct the board meeting in a virtual way. In today's agenda, we are very condensed agenda, a few items to cover, and we will talk about what is the global challenge nowadays facing by the board members, and why should business organization considering going virtual with your board meeting. And later on, we'll talk about some key elements of running a board meeting in a virtual way. And then we will take a look at how to overcome some of the practical challenges that we are having nowadays in when we are running a virtual meeting. And of course, I have Simon today here because Simon will give us some live demonstration about how to operate the board portal, how the board portal is user-friendly to help us to tackle some of the challenges. And of course, and we will try to see how making use of virtual board meeting can lead to a good corporate governance solution. Now, as you all know, since the beginning of this year, our responses to COVID-19 pandemic is not just on medical side. In the neighborhood, we advocate the wearing of masks, we wash our hands oftenly, and we keep social distancing. And in the business world, different countries, government authorities, big or small organizations are all evaluating the cause of the pandemic in terms of economic contraction, deficit, debt situations, and today's very hot topic is an unemployment rate. So under the pandemic, business organizations need to face the new reality. It is important for them to react fast and employ good corporate governance policy to carry on their operations. As board members, you should make sure that the company is running with well-structured rules, practices, and processes. So as a company secretary, I handle corporate matters and board matters every day. I have some observation. I find that many companies, if they have good corporate governance matter, they will have a better position to get through these difficult times. They have because they have set good planning, they have good policy, strategy, and they can react faster and have better transparency and sustainability. So companies with effective board communication really helps build a better reputation and maintain better investors' confidence. With today's global challenge, board members should be meeting more frequently than before, and because they form the main governing body of the company. While you know there are so many traffic restrictions nowadays, it is good for board members to prepare for having virtual meeting. So I have summed up a few factors or reasons of why should you, no matter you are a board member, a ComSat, or you are facilitating or helping the board, why you should consider going virtual for your board meeting. Now, first of all, um, I would like to talk about digital transformation because the key consideration for the board is they are the leader of a corporation. They should undertake changes and transformation. Board members should innovate quickly in view of the current COVID-19 pandemic situation. And I believe that they should understand that transformation from traditional physical meetings to remote hybrid or virtual meetings is almost a must nowadays. So board members as leaders should really bring or lead their team members to start as soon as possible at the digital transformation. Secondly, of course, we will be focusing on board efficiency. Uh, Due to COVID-19, there are so many travel restrictions. Board meetings cannot hold physically. And I think they should not wait until the release of all these traveling restrictions. They should find a way to have their meeting right away instead of waiting. So virtual meeting is really a solution and a way to get rid of this. Um, Once the board has tried virtual meetings, they will find that virtual board meetings are better than physical ones because really easier. Just you can still sit at your desk and click on the Zoom and you can connect and collaborate with your board members. Lots of traveling time will be reduced and even the participation rate will get increased. The third reason I can think of going virtual for your board meeting is about regulatory compliance. Now, many listed companies in Hong Kong would aware that the stock exchange, the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, are committed to the highest standards of corporate governance. And they recognize that good corporate governance is a vital and very important to business organization and operations. So good corporate governance helps business to grow and to retain shareholder value as well as meeting its obligation towards shareholders and other stakeholders. Hong Kong Stock Exchange are driving the board members of listed company to adopt structured solutions to establish good corporate governance structure where regular board meetings are mandatory. So I am the company secretary. I have to make sure that my listed companies are having 4 regular board meetings every year. Periodically, we have to send our agenda and make sure that the meeting can let the board have a platform to exchange their ideas and enhance the business operation. The next factor of going virtual I can think of is in terms of technology advancement. So now there are various solutions available now. I think every day the board member or the company secretary are bringing the laptop here and there with their meetings and all the discussion. So technology enhancement is a very important factor that enhance our movement of this digitalized age and period. Because in the past, we sometimes use emails or even fax to communicate. Mm-hmm. And the board members, now, if they cannot meet physically, they will first of all maybe they'll okay, get a telephone conference. We can call a conference and dial and wherever they can talk to each other. But they cannot see each other if they are just talking in the phone. But with the enhancement of the software. There are so many meeting tools, collaboration platforms are available now to facilitate virtual meeting. Besides, nowadays you can find that the technology solutions are more user-friendly. You can just simply one click, or you can see each other FaceTime or Zoom or Skype. These are all very, very useful technology solutions. In addition to those online software I've just mentioned, there are also some other meeting solutions like digital board portal, further enhance the user experience. So with the use of board portal software, board members can manage the full life cycle of the board meeting and also other committee meetings in a super easy and effective and environmental way. So we are really happy to have all these technology enhancements recently. And the last reason I want to bring up is a very important, actually, factor for going virtual is the enhancement of data security. Because when the board is going a virtual meeting, the first thing they will consider that, oh, is it secured? Because in the past, they would just lock themselves in the room, the paper on the table, and they can ensure that the information, the sensitive information is being secured because nobody can see it. But now with all these electronic ways, the security enough to protect them. So with the latest development of IT securities, the board is now able to manage the cyber risk with less effort, because data protection is ensured nowadays. All the newly built portal or software with high security protected functions. This makes the board easier to minimize the risk factor than before. The board now can manage the sensitive information in an easier, less effort, and more secured way. So with all these sensible reasons, while we don't see the social distancing measure will be relaxed very soon, we must use some virtual methods to help the board to maintain their operation and enhance the operation without having physical in-person meetings. So I would really advocate the board members and the ComSec to think immediately how they can enhance the board member to meet virtually. So when we move on to my next slide, I would like to share with my audience today what are the key elements of virtual board meeting. Because as I've mentioned, I'm a committee secretary, always help the board to convene the meeting and coordinate and facilitate the meeting. From my observation, I would classify the key elements into four main areas. First of all, I would say that a well-organized agenda is very important, because if we are having a board meeting, of course, we have to know what are the items to be talked about, what do we want to cover in the meeting. So we, as the company secretary, we have to set out the agenda one by one, collect the ideas of the directors and board members, and whether any items they want to discuss during the meeting. And in addition to the agenda item, we'll have to collect all the board paper, any reports to be shared during the meeting, and any appendix that they have want to circulate to the board member to review at least 3 days before the meeting. So as the company secretary, we spend many time and effort in gathering the agenda and supplementary materials to facilitate the participants to have a very good communication during the board meeting. So, and the next one is, while we company secretary has organized the agenda, board paper, and I really think that and appreciate many of my directors are very devoted to their meeting, because they will have the pre-reading, they will really understand the report, understand the operation of the company, and they will raise questions and have a very thoughtful discussion during the meeting. So the second element I would think to contribute to a virtual board meeting is the dedication of the board members. If we have get ready all the materials for them and they put their effort, During the meeting, we will have a very fruitful discussion and achieve what we want to achieve. So just now, the two factors are covering the people, the resources. And the two next elements that I can think of is about technology. The first one is we should have some reliable conference software. I think nowadays we're very familiar with all these. We have the apps installed in our iPhone and our laptop, in our all the technology device, and we can see each other during the meeting. We can talk very easily and raise hand and raise question. So reliable software, conference software is another and a very important element. But with all those three elements that I can think of, it's not enough nowadays, because with the advance in technology, now we have some software like the board portal to even facilitate us end to end of having virtual board meeting. When we have a discussion before, Simon, we are talking about if you have the laptop, but you don't have the application like Excel, PowerPoint, then even you have the laptop, is not that user friendly. If you have your iPhone and your smartphone, but you don't have the bankers app, you don't have all the other apps to facilitate you, that you, if you only have the iPhone to make a phone call, it's not that useful. So if we can make use of the facilitate of board portal to enhance the functionality of the virtual board meeting, it will be a very good experience for the board members as well as other participants. So from my experience conducting virtual board meeting with new technology, like all the conference software and board portal, would really make our life easier. So in the next slide, I would like to share with the audience today that as a company secretary, with the four elements that I have talked about, I also want to share with you my experience in conducting a meeting. Say, I will break my this slide into three sections about pre-meeting, during meeting, and post-meeting. So before I have a board meeting, I will first of all check the articles of association of the company. I would like to make sure that the company's board meeting is organized or conducting in a legal way. I need to check whether is it the articles is really outdated that do not allow the directors to meet virtually. They really need to be participate physically in a particular place. So the first step I really need to check is the articles of association. Then I would confirm the conference software, make sure that all the directors have the technology hardware with them, and they know how to dial in to attend the meeting. And then, of course, I will prepare the board meeting, circulate the agenda with the use of the board portal, make sure that they can all receive the up-to-date board meeting papers. And on the other hand, before the virtual board meeting, I would ensure that they know the password, they know the meeting ID, they are having, the a reliable, the reliable software to help them, and they are in a time zone that we can reach them, and not one of them are sleeping and one of them are having lunch. So these are all practical tips to share with you. And the last thing I want to stress on this point is I usually get an IT guy ready to support me during the virtual meeting, because the technology is something having problems or issues. So better have some IT guy to support you. And during the meeting, as the company secretary, I usually be appointed as the facilitator to walk through the meeting, say take attendance, and share the meeting materials, as well as encouraging the board member to raise questions. So all these steps that I need to carry out during the meeting can be participated with the board portal. So later on, Simon will help me to do some demonstration to illustrate how we carry out the virtual board meeting with the board portal. Even we can have the voting, the motions, we can also carry out with the virtual board meeting. And the best thing I can enjoy is I can use the board portal to take minutes right away with all the agenda items. It's really easy and user friendly. So after the meeting is conducted, I will usually collect the feedback from the participant, whether they find the technology is good, they can hear each other, any areas that they want to improve later on. So obtaining feedback is one of the tasks that I have to carry out after the meeting. And of course, I will follow up with other actions that I have to deal with after the meeting. Say, for example, the board member may consider publishing an announcement after the meeting. So as the company secretary, I will have to carry out the work and delegate the responsibility to my team members. And I can tell you, I can also use the board portal to facilitate me and help me to carry out all this following of work. And also, I can circulate, of course, the minutes with the directors through the board portal collaboration area, and as well as sending them the meeting minutes to sign using e-signature through the portal. And of course, when I carry out the next meeting, I can easily extract the information or the points to remind me to prepare the agenda for next board meeting. So just now, a few points to share with you my routine tasks that I have to carry out during the board meeting. And I'm sure that after the demonstration of Simon, you will know how I carry out the work. So I would now like to invite Simon to share with me or with the audience some of the useful tips.
Thank you, Wendy. Hi, everybody. So I just want to give the audience an overview of what a board portal is. And by doing that, first of all, I want to define, what a board portal is, not to be confused with, a software like Zoom or Microsoft Teams, but a board portal is a secure online platform for board secretaries and board members to organize and manage meetings, access documents, communicate with each other, and execute their governance responsibilities. So to put it in context, if you're currently using a combination of calendar apps, creating your meeting agenda using Word, then using PDF software to combine all the documents to create a board pack, then maybe printing them out and mailing them, or emailing back and forth with new versions to your board members, or even communicating, or sending things through WhatsApp or WeChat. A board portal basically replaces all that with a single, with a centralized and secure system. And for this reason, the application of board portal is not only limited to when you have virtual meetings. I think it's very, very worth taking note of that. But rather as a business as usual operating system for any board-related communications and activities, like CRM systems for sales and marketing, or accounting system for finance teams. And generally, we group users into. In a board portal, we group users of a board portal in two main categories. The first one is the administrators, or commonly they are COSECs or legal teams. And the second category would be end users. Those would be board members, directors who needs to consume information out of the portal. But a board portal should be flexible enough so that you can map out your corporate governance structure and build your board and committees or even executive teams inside the portal, and assign people with permissions on a need-to-know basis, so they can have different permissions in different scenarios. Okay, and for company secretaries, those are the people who need to deal with administrative work for board meetings. A board portal basically provides a framework for you to organize meetings end-to-end and manage all the materials across your board and committees, from sending notice or creating the agenda, putting together the board pack, and finally putting and finalizing the minutes and archiving the meeting at the end. And for board members, the advantage is that they have full access to the full board records and everything up to date in their fingertips in any device they use, and it's user friendly, and they can replicate the paper experience. They can make notes and leave comments and collaborate with their fellow members in the board quite conveniently. And so in the upcoming demonstration, so I want to take an opportunity, rather than talk about it, I want to give you a live demonstration on Tricore's board portal solution portfolio. And as we won't have time to cover all the features, I have selected, a few common use cases for board secretaries as well as for directors. Okay, so now I'm gonna jump into the demonstration. So let me just take control of the screen. Okay. Okay, so to start off with, I'm now logged in as an administrator account. So imagine I'm the company secretary. So I'm going to show you a few use cases. So first of all, I want to create a meeting, inside this board portal. So this is a upcoming board meeting I need to prepare for. So in a board portal, it's very convenient. So as you can see, you can map your board structure into the portal. So here I have my committees, I have the board that I have access to, and because I want to manage upcoming board meetings, so I go to the board space, and you can create meeting quite easily. Essentially, it's like creating like a calendar invitation. For time purposes, I already have a draft meeting I created here, this Q4 board meeting. As you can see here, I can fill in all the details like time and dates, as well as dial-in links for your conferencing software. So now inviting people into the meeting is quite easy. So you simply click manage attendees, and you have the option to select all your board members at once. So these are all my board members, and save. And now I've added people into the meeting. And now to actually send notice to these people, so I'm ready to announce this meeting and notify my board members about it, is as simple as publishing this meeting. So when you publish the meeting, this is visible for your board members when they log into the portal. But at the same time, you can send them a notification. So here, it prompts me to send a notification, and you can even add additional messages if you want to. Then the next step is selecting the members in your board, your meeting participants. And to send it is as easy as one click. Then they will receive the notification in the portal as well as in email. So by doing this, you are eliminating, having to create a calendar invitation, then, sending it to board members. And it's also easy when you change the information in your meeting, you can send another notification to update them on the change. Okay. And the next step, okay, as you're preparing for the meeting, I want to set up my agenda. Okay, and here, as you can see, we have a dedicated agenda tab, so it lets you build the agenda in the portal. So there's a digital version of the agenda. So I already have, I've been working on this, and but I have a final a section I need to add to the agenda, which is the nomination committee report they need to present. So then in the agenda item, you can fill in how long you need, who's presenting. These are all optional, so you can fill it in as you need to, and then save. And now I have basically added, an agenda item, and you can easily reorder the position using drag and drop. So it's that easy. So right now, I think this agenda is ready. So I want to let my board members view it. And again, same concept. You basically publish the agenda, and you can notify them if you want to. Okay, and this kind of function lets you create things and edit things on the fly, so you don't have to wait for everything to be ready before you send it to the board members and worrying about spamming their inboxes. So they can, every time they look at a published agenda, they're looking at the latest version. So you can keep editing things even after it's been published. Okay, then the next step, when the agenda is ready, I want to create my board pack, which is the board meeting paper, which is sort of the #1 headache for company secretaries. They have to manage all the document versions. So here we provide a very convenient way. So to do that, we have a files folder, dedicated to each meeting. So here I'm gonna upload my documents, the documents already on my computer, which I've collected from my, executive team and the board members. And to do that, the first step is choose your file. So you can't see it, but I'm actually choosing files from my local computer, and you can upload 10 files at once. So here I've selected, a number of files, and and you can do up to 10 files at once. So in most cases, you might be done with just one upload. Okay. And the second step, and this is very important for board portals, you're able to control file permissions on a very granular level. So if you want to let people just read it, but not download, or if you want to let selected people to annotate only, or not have certain participant to access a document at all for conflict of interest reasons, you can control that very finely on a per document basis. But here, since for time purposes, I want to let everybody sort of have, read and annotate permission for the documents I'm uploading, and I can simply select all, then upload. So when you're doing a multiple files upload, it happens in the background. So it's being uploaded in the backend. And to create the actual board pack, we actually go back to the agenda. So we create board pack by linking files to their related agenda items. So I think, so to do that, to illustrate that, so maybe when I edit the agenda item, this chairman welcome, I can already see this file has been uploaded. So I can link that PowerPoint in, and for the minutes, I have this meeting Q3 meeting minutes document. I can link them in, and for finance, I can link the two, and you can link multiple files under an agenda item. So here I have the budget, I have the revenue forecast.
So at the time we are going to a particular agenda, we can easily locate the relevant document.
Exactly. So I won't do them all because I'm conscious of time. So here, I think you understand the concept now. So you basically link files to agenda items, then a board pack is created automatically in the backend. So by the system filtering files you link to an agenda item. So here in the board pack tab, which is the next stage, before I publish it, I can preview the board pack with all the documents I just linked to agenda items. So here I can see, okay, I have this, chairman welcome PowerPoint. I have this meeting minutes document ready. Okay, so I think it's ready for the directors to view them. So again, same concept, publish the board pack, and you can notify your directors about that. So I actually want to notify my directors the board pack has been published, because it might be 2 weeks before the meeting, and you send them a notification, then they just log back into the system to view it. Okay, and fine, and there's one more task I want to do, which is to execute, to have my directors execute a board resolution. So right now, you probably are sending them the PDF through email, then they print it out, and they send it, sign it, and scan it back. But here we have a streamlined approach where everything happens electronically. So here, maybe I have this board resolution document I uploaded, and it's quite easy to launch a signature request through the portal. And to do that, I can add people I want to assign to sign this document. So here I can select users in the portal. So maybe I just want to select this person, and I can assign a signature field to this person, right? And save. And when it's ready for me to submit for my director's signature, and you can have multiple people signing in the document at the same time. But for time purposes, I just have one, and I submit the signature request, and they'll get a notification, and they can sign it using their own accounts, which I'll show you in the second part of the demo. Okay, and so submitting a document for board for electronic signature is that easy. And finally, after the, when the meeting happened, during the meeting, as Wendy said, one of the advantage of board portal is you can take minutes inside the meeting. So one of the features we have is first of all, an easy way for you to track attendance. So you can, against the attendees list, even inside a meeting, you can already check and cross them, or maybe say 15 minutes late, depending on your, company policy.
Really a very useful function for the secretaries.
Yeah, depending on your, again, bylaws and company policies. And later on, the good thing about using the system to track attendance is you can utilize the portal when you're preparing for, annual reports or something like that. You can generate attendance reports.
Yes, because in the corporate governance report, we have to report the attendance of the board meeting.
Yes, so we replace all that with you, so you can select, during this financial year, my board members' attendance across all the board and committee meetings.
Some of the listed companies have audit committee, nomination committee, strategic committee, so many committees, then so many meetings. Then, but with this one, we can have the attendance in one snapshot.
Yeah. And finally, I want to show you, as Wendy said, you want to be able to take minutes. So you can here with one click, import all your agenda item into different sections. Then you can type your minutes inside it. So here, maybe I want to, say I want to have, type my minutes here. I want to, just samples. And also the good thing about using the minutes function in the board portal is that after the meeting, you can submit this draft minutes to selected board members for their review and comments. So here I want to say first draft review, and I want to assign to, you can assign to multiple directors. So here I'm just going to do one and give them a due date so they can view this draft minutes and leave their comments individually. And so you can see all the comments in a single view and do your final edits with the portal. So now I've submitted that draft minutes to the directors. So you will be, in the second part of the demo, I will actually jump in as a director so you can see the receiving end of all the work that you have just done. So here I'm going to log in as a director and see how a director can utilize the board portal. First of all, with this dashboard, we give the directors a very simple glance of the actions they need to take, as well as pertinent information about meetings. So here I can see all my upcoming meetings across all the committees and board I'm involved in. So here, as I just prepared as a secretary, this Q4 board meeting, I can see the board pack is available, or I can check my notifications, like all the notifications I just sent as a secretary. So here is as simple as, one clicking the board pack. And the board pack obviously is the one place where you can view all the updated documents. So the first page is the agenda of the meeting. And all the documents are organized on the left-hand side here on this sort of like a table of contents. So you can access all the documents here and read. And if you need to scrutiny, being a good board member, you want to be well prepared, and you want to be able to make notes. So as you walk into the meeting, you already have your feedback. So we provide convenient tools for you to annotate directly on a document. Okay, and so you can draw, you can highlight text, or most commonly you will leave like sticky notes to a document. So let's say if you want to remind yourself to bring this up in meeting, then you are basically leaving yourself a bookmark. And in all the annotations, I just made a private to myself, so don't need to worry about other people seeing my notes. And they're all synced automatically. So whenever you're accessing the portal, your notes will be there. So when you walk in, you open up your board portal, your notes is there. And if you have a long list of notes, you can even search through your notes, and they're organized by pages of the pages of the document. Also, there's a very powerful thing about annotations is we allow you to share comments with other people in the meeting. So here, maybe I have something I want to share. Let's have a discussion. Then people can actually see my share note. And not only by seeing it, they can actually reply. So essentially creating like conversation on the document level.
This is the new tips I learned.
So could be very handy before a meeting if you want to already jump into a discussion, so you're ready to have that conversation in the board meeting. Okay. And so that's very quickly annotations and some of the tools that you can use to help you better navigate and review the document. Okay, so I'll go back to the dashboard and just very quickly wrap up this demo by, so I, as a secretary, I submitted a document for e-signature. So on the receiving end, as a director, I want to see how do I actually execute that. So it's as easy. So when you set up the board portal, when you, it's one thing you have to do to enable e-signature is to upload your own signing certificate issued by the authorized body in your jurisdiction. So once you've done that, signing things is as easy as one click. So I can read the document, I can see where I'm signing. To sign it, as simple as entering the password, then sign. So now I have stamp my name on this e-signature. And everything is happening real time. So as people are signing, other directors are signing, you will also see that signature pop up. So that's, you know, you don't have to go back and forth and scan and everything is auditable, and all the audit information is tracked in the document. Okay. And so that's e-signature. And finally, I want to showcase the minutes, meeting minutes review I just received. So as you can see, me as a director, I can comment on all the draft minutes items prepared for my secretary. So let's say I want to comment looks good, or, you know, approved, then you can do that. And at the end, after when you want to submit your review, simply say submit reviews. Then your secretary will get your feedback, so they can do their thing. They can do the thing afterwards. And there's final two things I want to mention and wrap up this demo is that, as I mentioned, a board portal should be able to be used in any device, because you're constantly on the go. So here, if I just sort of resize the window here to give it like a tablet view, so Portfolio also already works on any device that you use, like you know, even mobile phone, everything works. So if I want to read my agenda on the fly, then everything is optimized. And finally, to wrap it up, everything I've been showing you as a director, as a position as a director, is under one company. But the convenient, the powerful thing about a board portal is you can link your Access account up to multiple boards that you serve on. So in case of executive, non-executive directors, or even company secretaries who's managing multiple, you know, subsidiary boards.
Yeah, really, this one is really taking care of me, because I am the company secretary of a number of companies.
Yeah.
So with this multi sign-on, right?
Yeah. So you can. I was looking at this company. So if I want to switch to another organization that I also serve on, it's as simple as clicking enter and switching to that board. As you can see, I have a completely different set of, you know, committees and meetings, and you can be sure that all the company data are still security separated, but we're just providing a convenient sign-on, so you don't have to have multiple usernames and passwords. So it makes directors' life much easier.
Yeah, this is one platform, but you can, I mean, experience and use this for a number of companies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I know we're running out of time, so this is all I want to show. Hopefully give you a good idea of what a board portal can do and help your organization as you're going virtual, or even preparing for the new transitioning to the new normal. So back to you, Wendy.
Yeah. Thank you, Simon. So thank you for your demonstration. It's really helpful. Of course, I learned some new tips just now, like sharing the comments with the other directors and other participants, but and at the same time, I can have some private message for myself without sharing to each other. So it's really good to have your sharing and demonstration. So now come to the this part of the our presentation, the webinar today is talking about digitizing corporate governance. You know, in the past 40 minutes, we talk about why we need to go virtual, what are the considerations, how we can make use of the latest technology to facilitate a virtual board meeting. But at the end, what we aim for is having a good corporate governance for the organization and for the business to enhance the value of the company. So in terms of good corporate governance enhancement, I think having virtual board meeting can help the company in 4 ways in enhancing the corporate governance. First of all, is of course the efficiency gain. From drafting agenda to preparing minutes, ComSec can work with the framework without worrying of missing any steps and deadlines. Less paper are used nowadays. Because we need not print out the document. I need not have a pile of paper put on the desk for the directors. I remember in the past, when we print the document, we have to get the last minute version of the board pack. And when you print out the documents are still warm. You can feel the temperature of the paper, and the trees are dying. So it's really not good for printing anymore. And the second matter is about board members' collaboration, because now with the virtual board meeting, the board can easily assess and review the board paper. They can use some technology tools to add comments and share their input with the other members and participants of the meeting. And they can even have single sign-on and to help them to monitor different companies and with the use of e-signature. So it's really helpful for no matter the board members and the company secretary. Another thing is about higher security of information. You know, when we talk about cyber risk, the board portal is purposely built to safeguard sensitive data and documents. This helps reducing the risk of data breaches, and it also facilitates easy tracking of document access with simple clicks, right? Really useful. And the last thing I want to talk about is better record keeping. You know, during the meeting and when we're no matter preparing or after the meeting, there are so many meeting materials circulating within the board and other divisions of the companies. So with the dashboard function, the board can easily retrieve the materials for preparing the meeting, and no matter even after the meeting, they can look back to get the minutes and draw some information. All these functions can centralize tracking of decision agreed. So with all the advanced digital management software and tools, the board now have even actually no excuse of no going virtual board meeting. And I think we do all agree that virtual board meeting can now set a new benchmarks for effective governance and promoting innovative practice for our new leaders. So all the board members or the company secretary, I hope today's webinar can share with you about the advantages or the preparation for going virtual board meeting. So yes, as time is running out.
Maybe we have 5 minutes, see if we have any questions.
Yeah, we have maybe a few questions from the audience that we can look into.
So I can already see, so let me take this question, Wendy.
Yeah.
There's a very good question about how secure is my data in portfolio, so the board portal I just shown. So that's a very good question, and I think it's the #1 quality you should look at when you're selecting a board portal vendor, because obviously you're putting your most sensitive information on this platform. You want to make sure it's secure and it's reliable. So for portfolio, we take security very seriously. It's our #1 priority. The whole software is secure by design. So you have all the encryption built in, everything, all the data and documents is encrypted in transit and at rest. So all the time, at all times. And also I've been able to demonstrate all the granular permission control you can do, and building the security software is not enough. We also invite third-party cybersecurity expert to try to hack our system to make sure things that we built is according to our specifications, so nothing leaks, nothing is hackable, nothing is not penetratable, and also we are also an ISO 27001 certified company and software. So for those of you who know, ISO 27001 is sort of like the gold standard for information security management. So it governs all the software development process, testing process, from even to customer support and application hosting, et cetera, et cetera. So we are audited every year by an external organization and for this certification. And we also, the application is GDPR compliant, and we also have an external certification auditing and certifying our personal data handling, so privacy handling. So that's a number of things we've done. So it's a very comprehensive approach to security. Okay. There's another question.
The next question is, may I know what equipment should I need for this virtual board meeting? Can I do it in my office instead of hotel? So I think it is about the application or the software.
You can absolutely do it in your office or even your home
device, right?
Because you don't need, because I don't know, from a compliance perspective, I think it's, Wendy, you can comment on that. In terms of technology, the tools available is exactly for this use case. So you can do it anywhere because everything's online on the cloud, and with the board portal, you can manage your documents and share documents, update your documents online, and have your board members see them instantly on their own devices. And when the meeting happens, you simply check into Zoom or Teams, so everybody can see each other and stream the whole meeting.
Especially when we are doing the work from home.
Yes.
Or the social distancing restriction. So wherever you can have your device ready, and then you can log in the portfolio, then you can access the board materials, then you can facilitate yourself in having the virtual meeting as well as using the board portal.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, this question, maybe I take this one, is about talking more about e-signature, because just now, Simon, you have shown us we can facilitate the board members to sign the minutes with electronic signature. So we, as well as the current situation, some of my clients, and they are talking about, oh, I have difficulty in sending you the wet ink signed page. So what am I going to do? So it's very glad that we have Portfolio, this kind of board portal, which have the e-signature function built in there. But on the other hand, I would like to remind the audience and all the secretaries and the board members that while you are using the e-signature, you still have to observe the regulations and the requirement in your own articles. Make sure that there is no restriction or no special requirement about having physical signed wet ink signatures. And this is a very important point you have to think of. And on the other hand, some of the documents are not, allowed to have e-signature, like those documents that you have to file with the government, any documents relating to buying of properties and using of a deed, these kind of documents that you have to be careful when you are considering whether you use e-signature or wet ink signature. So try to talk to your company secretary in case you have any questions.
Because we are running out of time, so we'll take one more questions, but we'll address all the questions offline after the webinar. So so there's a question saying, is portfolio available in Chinese? So yes, so our portal is right now supported in English as well as traditional and simplified Chinese. So your users can change that settings themselves. So if they prefer Chinese, then the whole system is available in Chinese. Yes. Yeah, and maybe I think we'll just take 1 more minute to answer this question about downloading the board pack. Yes. Yeah, I haven't had the time to show you, but the administrator has the ability to enable users to download individual documents in the board pack, as well as the full board pack automatically compiled into a single PDF. So yes, that function is available. So if you have board members who want to read the document pack or the pack offline, then you can enable this option for your users. So again, it's optional. You can enable that option for your users, or even just a single user if you want to control the security a little bit better. I think after you have tried this for portfolio, you will explore more functionality and advantages of as a user, so you can experience and how you can make good use of this tool to help you to facilitate the virtual board meeting. So thank you, Simon. I think it's time for the rest of the questions. We will take them down and connect with you one by one. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.